Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Ooh, I'm trying to get over this cough. I've had this cough. Is anyone else having a really long cough? Like it's just a cough? It's so freaking weird. I have no other symptoms. It's just been this very aggressive cough for weeks. I mean, I'm going on a month now. Like, just fucking stop. And if this is supposed to take me out, then just take me out, honey. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'm tired of it. I've done everything: cough drops, cough medicine, tea. Like I don't even drink tea like that. Okay, honey, lemon. I'm just irked. Okay. Episode 3, Grey's Anatomy. This might be a little longer one, only because it was a pretty exciting episode. So this is where the dead baby bike race day happens, and this is apparently something they do in Seattle, or the Grey's Anatomy Seattle, where there's this bar called the Dead Baby Bar, and they have a bike race once a year on this particular day, where these crazy people ride their bikes extremely fast around Seattle, and they don't care who is in their way or what have you. So a lot of people get hurt, and so they end up clearing the OR board completely because they're like, okay, we're about to have a lot of people come in. So one of the people that comes in, this guy named Viper, who is also Finn from Gilmore Girls. Is it Colin or Finn? I can't remember. But one of them. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Um so he comes in, he has like a something on like his side, right? Like kind of like a cut. And Alex and Meredith are kind of like arguing about who gets to treat him. She's like, it could be something deeper. Like, it's not a superficial wound, Alex. And he's like, let the man finish his race. And so he takes out whatever was in there. I forgot what it was. And so he's like, okay, cool, good man. Like, let's do it. And so Alex leaves, and then Viper has, I don't know, I think there was like a tiny bit connection with Viper and Meredith, just because he seemed like he's just a very charming man and a flirt. So he ends up like kissing her out of nowhere right before he leaves, and he's like, I'll be back for you, or whatever, right? And so she's like, what the fuck? And Derek, of course, he ends up seeing this kiss go down. And he walks in, he's like, oh, so we're kissing patients now, huh? And she's like, what, are you jealous? And he's like, no, I'm not jealous. And he's like, I'm just wondering, when you're going to go out with me and when you're going to give me a chance. And she's kind of like, you are my boss. Like, I cannot go out with you. And so he just keeps on pushing and keeps on pushing. And so there's this whole theory that comes about in this episode, the thrill of the chase. Meredith thinks that Derek is not being genuine, that Derek has ill intentions, that he's only pushing her to go out with him because he likes the thrill of the chase. So and that's a whole thing throughout the episode, like, and towards the end of the episode he finally addresses it after I think Meredith gets like super frustrated with Alex over something. He's just right, this season. So she throws him up against a locker and goes off on him. Derek walks in the locker room because he hears a commotion, and he breaks it up and tells Alex to get out of here. And so basically, like, then he ends up telling her at that moment, at the end of the episode, that it's not the thrill of the chase. Like, I really like you type stuff. And you know, he's like basically complimenting her, kind of charming her, and she's loving it, but she's still kind of very hesitant about going any further with him, because, you know, she wants to keep it professional. She doesn't want to like fuck up her career because she's just an intern and she can't just go off of her mother's name, you know, like she really wants to do it herself. She wants to build a name for herself, and she knows that if she gets involved with Derek this early in her career, that thank you, that that can prove to harm her career. So anyways, let's see on my, I did write notes, you guys, so you know, be proud of me. Let's see. So yeah, it's not just Alex and Meredith competing for patients. All of the interns are, because they know all of these people are going to come in because of this dead baby bike race day. So George actually ends up getting Weber's friend. Okay, I wrote down his creepy gay friend because he was. And I don't know what the actor's name is, but like he's been in so many things. Anyways, so he tends to him basically all day. He needs a liver, and so the whole time, like, he's kind of flirting with George, and George is kind of like creeped out, you know, because he's like, what the heck, this gay guy is like coming on to me, do I seem gay? Like, and he asks everybody, and everybody's like, oh, you're not gay? And he's like, what the fuck, like, no. Anyway, so they end up bonding, actually, because he does end up finding him a liver. We'll get into that part in a second, but he does confess his love for Meredith to the patient. So then we find out that George has a super huge crush on Meredith, but we kind of see it episode 1 because they're all in the locker room at the beginning before they find out which resident they've been assigned to, and George kind of comes over and he's like, hey, we met at the mixer, because there's like some big mixer, like a little party that they had for all of the you know, interns coming in, and like some of the attendings were there, some of the residents were there, everybody was there, and so everybody met. All right, and so anyway, so he's telling her like how great she looked at the mixer, and you know, I'm George, and you know, we can study together, blah blah blah. So she like fucking ignores him, as she always does. Anyways, so yeah, so he finds him a liver. The liver donor is Izzy and Christina's patient. They have been given a patient by Derek, who basically they have to wait for 6 hours and declare him brain dead. And so there's nothing that they're really supposed to do. But of course, Christina and Izzy are who they are, and they're not going to let it go. Izzy is a very, very empathetic person. She's very emotional. They often kind of are like, girl, do you want to be a social worker or a doctor? And you know what I mean? She's very, very good with people and patients, which proves to bite her in the ass later on. So they want to basically, they hatch up this plan that they want to harvest his organs, so his death can mean something. So they're trying to get this past the like residents and attendings, right? Izzy is honestly more interested in finding his family, because she, as well as having his death mean something, she knows that this person belonged to somebody and somebody loved him. So she does actually find his family. His wife comes in, brings their daughter in later or whatever, as they're signing papers for, you know, organ donation. And then Christina, I guess, goes and finds Meredith and gets her on board to try and convince Burke to do an aortic repair on the donor, so that he can be ready to go for the organ donation. But they end up going straight to the chief because Burke is kind of like hesitant about it, and he's like, man, you guys love stirring up trouble around here, like I can't just always cover for you guys and this and that. And so he doesn't really seem on board with the idea, because he's like, just let this guy go. But then when they find out from, I believe they find out from George that the donor's a match for the chief's friend, right? So they just go straight to the chief, honey, and they say, hey, Dr. Weber, we have a match for your guy, but it's this guy and he needs an aortic repair. Burke won't do it. We were seeing, could you make him do it? Blah, blah, blah. So anyways, stuff goes down, and that's that. Everybody's happy. Richard Weber's friend gets the liver. All of the organs are donated. So the wife gets on board with that. And then, let's see what else. So also, I think it was this episode, or might have been last one, I forget. But, Meredith was looking for some roommates. So she didn't have the house all to herself. So anyways, roommates end up being George and Izzy, right? So they are Meredith's first roommates. They start like unpacking stuff in the house just to kind of make it more homey. And so they end up finding Alice surgery tapes, and they beg Meredith to watch them because, that's how they learn stuff too, just by watching. So she's kind of like opposed to it towards the beginning of the episode when they find it, and might have been middle of the episode where they find it. They're like, come on, let's watch it, whatever. But after like that long day that they had, like she comes home, Christina's over there, George and Izzy, they're all on the couch. They just started playing the tapes them damn selves, okay? So Meredith comes home. She don't even really say nothing. She's kind of like, man, the day I had, I'm over it, honey. Let's watch these tapes. And so that's that. And that is all my notes for that episode. So I will be back with episode 4 in just a few moments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.